అప్రతర్క్యం అవిజ్ఞేయం అనాలయం అలక్షణం అనిరూప్యం స్వసంవేద్యం అనాది నిధనం శివం నిర్వికల్పం నిరాభాసం నిర్నిమిత్తం నిరంజనం నద్వయం నాద్వయం శాంతం ధీప్రచార వివర్జితం తత్వం దిదేశ కారుణ్యాత్ యో నిరక్షరమక్షరైః భావతోస్తు నమస్తస్మై శాస్త్రేవి తథవాదిని. Sanskrit language plays an important role in the promotion of Buddha's teachings in national and international level. The respect and the position of Sanskrit should be similar to the Pali language in the promotion of Buddhism. Theravada and Mahasanghika schools have compiled the Buddha's teachings separately in separate councils. This is due to the division in the Sangha. During the Second Buddhist Council, Theravada literature was compiled in Magadhi, and the Mahasanghikas have chosen the Sanskrit language for the compilation of Buddha's teachings. Vinaya literature of these two traditions was also separate. Also, at the time of King Kanishka, during the Fourth Buddhist Council, Buddha's teachings were officially delivered and officially recognized in Sanskrit language. The main reason for this dispute was the consumption of 10 vastus, which we call Dasha vastus. Initially, the dispute was because of the Vinaya, but later the concepts also diverged. Geographically, one Buddhist sect was in the South Asia, in Sri Lanka, Thailand, Burma, Cambodia, Laos, and the other sect, which is Mahayana, in North Asia, in Tibet, China, and Nepal, and Mongolia. In the split of Sangha, Vajji had an important role because they had their own local influence. Sthaviravada was divided into 3 parts in Sarvastivada, Vatsiputriya, and Vibhajyavada. Mahasanghika was also divided in Theravada and Sarvastivada. In the Fourth Buddhist Council, Sarvastivada was given major importance. Sanskrit has been recognized and also considered a part of Vedic culture, but not the Buddhist culture. But this is not the true. Sanskrit also is associated with the Buddhist culture. Sanskrit is also associated with the Buddha's teachings. In fact, only with the exception of one sect, Theravada, all Buddhist sects are preserved in Sanskrit language. The Mahayana Sutra comprise of hybrid Sanskrit, whereas the Kavya and logic literature is posed in classical Sanskrit language. Buddhist Sanskrit literature is very vast, and whatever Buddhist Sanskrit literature we get today is like a drop in the ocean. The Sanskrit Buddhist texts received from China, Tibet, Nepal, and Mongolia hold national importance for the India. The traditions except the Theravada are preserved by Vasumitra, Bhavya, Vinitadeva helped in spreading it further. Ashwaghosha, a contemporary of Kanishka, was a great poet and great philosopher in Buddhism. His contribution is highly valuable in the development of Buddhism and Sanskrit literature. His period is considered after Valmiki's and prior to poets Kalidasa and Bhasa. So these poets are very famous Sanskrit poets. Ashwaghosha also is a famous Sanskrit poet. Ashwaghosha had a great impact on poet Kalidasa in his literature. He emphasized on the devotion of Buddha Bhakti. Ashwaghosha was a great poet, scholar, acharya, logician, and respected Buddhist monk. He has composed Saundarananda and Buddha Charita and 3 dramas which were found in the Middle Asia with the efforts of Silva Levi. Now coming to the philosophy of Madhyamakahridayam. The Madhyamakahridayam is a work of great Indian Buddhist Acharya Bhavya, which he wrote in Sanskrit. His other works named Prajna Pradeepa is only available in Tibetan and Chinese translations. Bhavya can certainly be described as a great philosopher and a lover of wisdom in the sense that his major concern is with the Tattvajnanaishana. What is this Tattvajnanaishana? He says in his Madhyamakahridayam, Bodhichittaparityago Munivrata Samashrayah Tattvajnanaishana Cheti Charya Sarvartha Siddhaye. So these three kinds of charya is giving beneficials all kinds of benefits to the human beings. What are they? Three. Not living the bodhicitta, always holding bodhicitta, and leading the life of ascetics, munivrata samashraya, and tattvajnanaishana, the search of truth, the wisdom, and the great philosophy. These are the three charyas. They are the bodhicharya for all Buddhist philosophers. Bhavya's tattvajnanaishana corresponds to Brahma Jignasa of Brahma Sutra of sage Vyasa and Dharma Jignasa of Mimamsa Sutra, as well as the initial Jignasa of Sankhya Karika. In this text, Madhyamakahridayam, the terms Tattva, Brahman and Dharma are synonyms. Each of the terms used can be traced back to the earlier sources, thus showing the encyclopedic inclusivism in his approach of philosophy. Bhavya stands as a great philosopher. The fundamental concept attested in all his extant works is that of the prajna. All his works about the prajna. This term, however, is fundamental to Mahayana philosophy in general. Mahayana, therefore, is also known as the Prajna Paramita Yana also. Numerous writings, canonical as well as the scholastic writings, are concerned with the exposition and development of prajna. These scholastic and canonical are called Sutra and Shastra. Sutra and Shastra in Sanskrit. They are concerned with the exposition of the development of prajna. The philosophy of Bhavya in his text Madhyamakahridaya is very interesting. The importance of prajna lies in the fact that it is instrumental in bringing about jnana of tattva. In Indian philosophy, we always find this word tattva, or this word means tattva. Different schools obviously entertain different notions about the nature of tattva. Their way of looking upon darshana, tattva means darshana. Because that is why their way of looking upon this tattva varies to the extent that they follow the words of different teachers. Prajna is the most important topic of Mahayana philosophy. There is a common distinction between the three kinds of prajna. One is Shrutamayi, second is Chintamayi, third is Bhavanamayi. The first one is concerned with the study of the scriptures, Shrutimayi. The second one is concerning the reasoning, Chintamayi. And the third one is associated with the personal development, Bhavanamayi. The first kind of prajna, the first kind of knowledge is the cause of the second and the third kind of prajna also. So in this way they are interconnected. Speaking to erudition, Bhavya makes it clear that this also implies secular science such as Shabda, Hetu, Chikitsa, Adhyatma Vidya, as well as the numerous other subjects. Science as well as the religion, in other words, start with a sound training in Sanskrit. So, in the broader context of the universal history of conflicts between the faith and reason, this Madhyamakahridayam is an important document. At the time of Bhavya, the common rules of the debate require to uphold one's position. They are Paksha and Pratigna. One had to prove it by arguments consisting of logical reasoning, hetus, and examples, drishtantas. Moreover, one was obliged to refute. In the same way, the counter positions Pratipaksha, and objections of one's opponents. In this way, the Madhyamakahridayam is a very important text wherein we find a very important Buddhist philosophy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Thank you so much.